If you watched previous videos of mine, you may have heard me say sustain the industry. While I gave a note on what it was, that doesn't exactly describe the impact it had. So that's what I want to talk about today, because the anime industry overseas wouldn't be the same if it wasn't for us fans, I think. You see, back in the 2000s, you weren't sure if your favorite anime or manga was going to get licensed. And if it did, and it sold poorly, chances are it was not going to get another release, or at least a shoddy one. Thus, a movement started called Sustain the Industry, where anime fans buy media to support companies and their employees. It's to say anime wasn't dying in the West, and it was here to stay. People would post videos of their hauls with receipts and incite others to do the same, but I'm getting ahead of myself here. We need to talk about how it all started. Back in June 2010, the right arm of Edward Elric made an introductory video talking about how the anime industry is dying, more specifically in the West, but it's based on context. Her argument was that people consumed the media online for free and didn't purchase anything in return. This meant companies like Funimation and Bandai weren't licensing new stuff because not many people bought their products. Additionally, the movement started because she saw anime fans, especially on YouTube, complain about it dying, but they didn't do anything about it. Man, if she were here today, she would love today's climate. Oh, don't worry, she's not dead, and she didn't quit either. She has a new channel called MKtheRot. Back on topic, her video actually led to people creating videos of their anime purchases. They would share what they got and list the cost in the description. At the end of the first year, from the people who participated, the endeavor added a grand total of
$47,352.69. 69. Wow, like that's a big total, everyone. That's huge. Like, I don't think even a writer makes that much a year.
You know, she could have just said teacher and it would have sung just as much. Either way, it was a great accomplishment that showed the dedication and passion for the medium. To this day, people still have sustained the industry in their titles, but devolve into, I spent $1,000 on manga and you wouldn't believe what I found! Gotta get those clicks somewhere, gotta respect the hustle. Still, you would think that if people are still needing to tag themselves for the movement, that the industry must not be in a good position right now.
You know, I don't know if things in this house can get any better for me. This is incredible. This is the one thing that I could have asked for. Jerry has called me out in front of everyone, threw a bunch of lies out there, and it's created so much sympathy for me, I can't even contain it.
That's right, it's making so much money. Look at all the moolah. Woohoo! Yeah, so the industry boomed with a capitalistic influx in the mid-2010s. After a drought that had people preparing for the end times, they now have a reason to live again. God looked down and said, "Let there be anime," and the third coming of Christ rose up with his waifu body pillow and gamer juice. And you couldn't forget who helped make that possible. That's right, the fans. Because we threw money at the companies. They now have the finances to get more titles, chuck them into the stores, and create their own top-tier streaming services. It's because of us, the fans, that the anime industry didn't die. Right? Right? Alright. So, as you can see, the anime industry overseas boomed in 2015. It was staggering until something happened before then, which people attribute to the first season and compilation movies of Attack on Titan. Of course, there is something else that happened, which the Japanese External Trade Organization pointed out: streaming. As we can see in this chart for Japanese-made anime released in America, and if you wonder why I say Japanese-made, it's because in the article, anime is just technically animation in general, but I digress. The graph points out the estimated revenue for disc, video, digital, and movie releases with an overall total. DVDs and Blu-rays just kept on tanking until a small resurgence in the middle of the decade. Then right next to it, streaming just doubles. This is in part to the fact many streaming platforms launched. While there was Crunchyroll, Funimation, and Hulu, many more players entered the arena with Amazon's anime strike, Daisuki.net, Netflix funding original productions, and a plethora of other competitors. It should be noted they count network television streaming sites as well, like Cartoon Network and Adult Swim, which generate revenue with ads from the episodes they play. The reason I bring this up is because the physical media portion begins to fall off while streaming just rockets forward. Licensors gain access to more titles, which increase the possibility of more viewers engaging with the media and paying money to support it. However, this sort of goes against the sustain the industry movement of buying physical media. Most of it came from streaming, and I'm sure a huge chunk still comes from streaming to this day. There isn't a chart recent enough to inform us of this, unfortunately. If anything, The streaming numbers can give insight on releasing a series on disc, since companies continue to release them, sometimes with dubs. Although fans clearly support anime as a medium, I don't know if the movement made a dent to actually sustain the industry. Maybe it did with the word of mouth because people wanted more anime to come overseas and companies started licensing stuff left and right. While people watch the series, it doesn't mean they sent money for it, especially with the discs. Discs can be expensive. Sometimes they're as cheap as like $30, but can get pricey at $60 to $80 depending on release. But no frets, there's still another form of physical media people can use to support if it's still minimal: paperback. As most people should know, many anime are adapted from manga or light novels. Sometimes there are video games or original productions, but I want to focus on the former. Since these are usually on the cheaper side, you can get multiple volumes for the same price as a disc. Surprisingly, manga doesn't make more than disc releases when comparing the charts. Yet we can see a similar dip when the industry was supposedly dying before rebounding. The article I am referencing cites publishers spreading to digital channels to share sales, which is helping the manga market recover. Plus it mentions light novels, but doesn't really give data on it. They talk about many publishers jumping on the light novel train, but that doesn't mean anything without numbers to back it up, even if it's percentages. Of course, this was from back in 2016, the most recent one they publicly published, but in our Lord 2023, it seems both light novels and manga are booming. We can't get exact numbers, but this at least says the market has grown exponentially since the stats I posted, especially a spike during the pandemic. So, did fans actually sustain the industry? I mean, you could say that. Technically speaking, it's the fans that buy the official release and merchandise to give money to companies producing the series, and their pockets seem round and plump. But what about the staff, the voice cast, the creators? Do they get any residuals from it? I'm sure big ones like Eiichiro Oda and Masashi Kishimoto get it, but not the small ones. Let me explain. One of the main arguments for supporting the official release is to give money to the staff that work diligently on it. I would see these comments plastered on message boards everywhere. This was the driving force behind my purchases for the movement. I felt pressured into buying goods to support an industry that severely underpays its workers. It's like those commercials, you know, that play "In the Arms of an Angel" for abused animals or orphan children in Africa. I feel bad for them that I donate money to them, but does all of it actually go to what they advertise? Like, I'm sure some of it does, but it's probably like breadcrumbs. When we look at licensing, the company guarantees a certain amount plus possible royalties. So if the series is a hit, then it's a success, meaning they can pay the producers of the series and pay all the staff who supported it. But when we look at who very likely gets most of the money, the animators will probably not get what they are actually worth. And that's only looking at the importation side. If we remain stateside, dub voice actors, translators, typesetters, and the like will probably not get a lot unless they're popular. Plus nowadays, plenty of foreign companies are becoming producers for the series to bypass the licensing a bit, to create more anime. It seems like that instead of giving staff members value for their hard work and to build up their professions in the industry, we're just expanding the industry where it may not be possible to sustain itself. So, did we actually sustain the industry? Or did we create a monster? I don't know. Not definitively. But it does make you wonder. Who knows? Maybe I'm an idiot that thought purchasing official goods would support something I love. I should have pirated everything instead, unlike buying a disc that at least gives something back to the people who worked on it. I don't know. I think it was a good cause with good intentions. I think MKtheRot saw where the industry was headed and wanted to help it. I followed the movement because I believed in her words. But I think many of us were naive and young about the inner workings of anime production and licensing. Instead of helping the people who needed it, we filled the pockets of rich cats funding the endeavor. I wanted to talk about this cause I was in and what I think about looking back on it. It helped shape my view on the industry and provide valid insights. I should probably make another Sustain the Industry video to show I still support the industry in some way. Alright, here is my first Sustain the Industry video in a couple years, and we'll go over all of that. Haha, just kidding, this will go by quick. Look, we have Nico Yazawa here. Ooh, she'll be our desk mat and keep us company with her little smiles. Nico ni. Just made you all cringe, so let's get this over with. Let's start with something Love Live adjacent. Liela's debut single, Hajimari wa Kimi no Sora. So, yeah, pretty beautiful one. Here's the back. And of course, you can't forget what's inside. Here's a pop. Ooh, using the camera stand. Let's go. But yeah, pretty nice. And if you're wondering, I got the DVD, because I'm not paying $1,500 extra for the Blu-ray. Woo. Let's go with something paper related. That's right, it's an isekai light novel. Ooh, ah. The magic in this other world is too far behind. Beautiful story. Haha, just kidding. I'm unsure of what to make of it because it is questionable. Like, I enjoy the premise, but I feel like it's gonna end up like all the other isekai. They're like, oh man, look, we're so far when we reincarnate into this world. Ooh, I wonder what's gonna happen. Travel related. Yeah, there's that. The one thing I hate though, and I'll just show some artwork here, because I do like the artwork, it's quite beautiful, is how the author, not the author, actually the translator, I don't know, maybe it could be both, they use quite a lot of swears. The main character acts as this cool badass at times, and that's when he starts swearing, and it feels like it's like in the old fan sub days where, you know, like every other word was a swear. So that's interesting. But yeah, there's that. Check it out. It's by J Novel Light Club. J Novel Club, yeah. There it is. But we can't forget supporting the anime industry. That's right. Look what's here. It's Saint Tail. Oh my god, from Discotheque Media. No way! I love this. I'm so glad it finally released and Discotheque rescued it. It comes with all 43 episodes in Japanese, English, Japanese English translated. It's in 1080p, beautiful. With these restorations, you do have to like understand how they're restored and whatnot. But I enjoyed it from what I've seen so far. They also have the 15 English episode dub that was released from Tokyo Pop. Hopefully they can get a full dub at some point, maybe in the future. I know some companies have released dubs for popular subtitled work, so who knows, maybe. Definitely check it out. And now we gotta go over the prices. Let's go. Nico, drum roll, woo, yeah. As you can see, that's a pretty nice sum for what we had to pay for this stuff. And we're supporting the industry. You can even say we're sustaining it, haha. Especially when you're buying old works like Saint Tail over here. But yeah, I hope you all enjoy this video. Thank you all for watching. I wish you all the best. Please stay safe out there. I'll see you all in the next one, wherever that might be. Anyway, poof, poof.